Yeah, what's going on, everybody? This is Mysticall. Tonight I'm bringing you our plus 12 Theater of Pain. There is not live commentary, so I'm just voicing over the whole dungeon. And yeah, this is, I would say, one of the easier dungeons. I don't think there's many things that can wipe you, obviously, outside of pulling big and wiping on a boss fight. So I'm going to go through everything during this run, try to help you time this and do any tips that I have. So with that said, let's jump right into the video. This is the start of a 12. Usually it starts off with an in-cap ROP to skip the first pack. Just make sure you get the center of the ROP on top of the mob and you should have enough room. And then we pull, I think this is Bloodhorn. I think that's the name of his name. He has one mechanic you want to watch out for, and it's the Raging Tantrum. So you want to try to incap it when you can. You want to play pressure points when you're trying to do that, otherwise you're gonna have to heal through the damage. And I didn't have incap for the first one because I used incap on the first mob. I didn't know the demon hunter was gonna incap, so make sure you dispel these debuffs as well from the boss fight. The boss isn't terrible, just try to kick when you can on a necrotic bolt, and then there's gonna be a frontal at some point. Watch the noxious spores on the ground, and it's just quite a bit of AoE damage. We actually killed the mob before I can even get a dispel on the one of the tantrums, but I think overall I think I got one dispel on it, and then that was it. And now it's just a boss fight. There's Mortal Strike on the tank. He's gonna take less healing, so I just cocoon him. I figure he needs a little help, so I just cocoon him, and then I'm just gonna start doing damage and healing essentially. The rest of the fight is pretty easy actually. Dodge the frontal there, dispel any debuffs. You can actually diffuse magic if you have it to dispel yourself, and then you can dispel somebody else. But outside that, there's some AoE damage going out, and then Mortal Strike on the tank. So this boss fight isn't terrible once you kill that first mob. Just heal through the AoE damage and interrupt the necrotic bolt when you can. Avoid the circles on the ground and dodge the frontal, and you can just heal through it with your fist weaving. Mighty Smash there is the big AoE damage, so always try to have a Crackling Jade Lightning ready to do healing afterwards. It is quite a bit of damage, but it is an insane amount, and usually there aren't things that can stack up. The only way you could really wipe is if that Mighty Smash goes out and people have like debuffs on them. So make sure you dispel those debuffs ASAP. And again, if you dispel two at once, you can diffuse magic yourself and dispel the other person. Just hopefully you get the debuff first. Once you kill the first boss, you can go into any of the rooms and just start pulling mobs for the next boss. We're going to go down this wing, the Halls of Might. I think we pull this with the mob, actually. I think this is one of the easier mobs, too. You just have to stack. So the good thing about this group is we're all melee. So what you want to do on this against this mob is you want to stack up the Interrupting Roar. Don't cast, and there's going to be AoE damage that goes out, so just be careful. I have a Crackling Jade Lightning ready for after, and then Whirling Blades are going to come out, so try to stay stacked up. That way you can just move around the room and dodge these swords. Otherwise, it's going to be completely hectic. So try to stay stacked as much as you can, and it makes the pull a lot easier. Interrupting Roar, don't cast, and then send a crackle. Essentially, it's really easy. Dodge these circles, and then dodge the swords. I think eventually the swords go away. I think so. So just keep that in mind. It's a very straightforward mob. There isn't too much damage going on here. The tank's doing a really good job of surviving. I think we're doing a good job of stacking as well. I mean, we're all melee, so it's pretty easy. And then you can also Shayloon's Gift too. If you don't have a crackle but you have like a 10 stacker of like Shayloon's Gift, that is also really good. It's gonna heal through the damage. There isn't much damage going out during this mob outside of that one AoE damage that goes out, the Interrupting Roar. So keep that in mind. I think I have a 10 stack Shayloon's Gift. I'm trying to hold my any healing I have, but Shayloon's Gift here, because I feel like a lot of the time I underutilize Shayloon's Gift. I just hold 10 stacks pretty much forever. So and then yeah, it's the same mob. It's literally the same mob. Yeah, Interrupting Roar, don't cast during it, or otherwise you're gonna get locked out. Save a crackle for after, and then run out of the whirlwind. And that's pretty much the mechanics of this. I thought this tank was going to go for a double pull with the mobs in the hallway, but no, he doesn't. I'm prepared for it, but it didn't happen. Interrupting Roar, again, just go for a Thunder Focus T Crackle, heal through all the damage. I use Chi-Ji too to put the shield on people, and then Whirlwind run out. I always try to keep an Envelopment on the tank as well. And then there's some tank damage, as you can see. There's some tank damage that goes out, but the tank's doing a really good job of surviving. So I didn't really have to worry about the tank too much this dungeon. He knew what he was doing, and it was nice. I don't know how I didn't get out of that. I swear I did get out of that. One thing I did note is I used my trinket on this guy, and I guess the trinket gives you more crit when the target is less health. So right now I have a ton of crit from this. I think it's soul leeching, soul keeping ruby, something like that. I don't know. I got it on my vault. It was better than the other trinkets I had. So pretty good. You want to kick that whenever you can. This pull, I just try to ROP and leg sweep whenever I can. Essentially, I saw that I was targeting, so I just shadow melded, and I just want to take as little damage as possible during this fight or during this pull. I just fist weave. You'd go for just a Tiger Palm, Blackout Kicks, Rising Sun Kicks, try to get some AoE damage going out, especially with Chi-Ji up. Chi-Ji does quite a bit of healing, and I still have a Crackle that I could use. I ROP that mob in, and I just keep continuing doing damage. There's really nothing too crazy about it. Just make sure you try to get that one mob down, interrupt when you can, and then just do damage. ROP is really, really good here. On the next pull, it's interesting. You can actually skip this next mob if you time it right, and my Demon Hunter does. We kind of messed it up. Little foreshadowing. We messed up this pull. I skip it, the tank skips it, but someone doesn't skip it, and then I get put into combat. I'll show you'll see. I get put into combat for some reason, but the mob goes back, and I couldn't res, and I didn't have shadow meld because I used it on the last mob. So I tell the tank that, hey, like, I'm in combat. So the tank commits. Wait, I'm out of combat. I'm out of combat now. Wait, in combat. Oh, I was so slow. I try to say wait. Oh, but then the tank pulls. So kind of awkward. I let the tank die. But I think we still save time. I think there were 3 deaths here. I think the tank dies, and then I think the DK dies. Yeah, I think there were 3 deaths. I think we still save time. I mean, what do we lose? 45 seconds for this? But, you know, I think I could have been. I don't know what was keeping me in combat. I was more afraid that the mob was going to come up, and then like we'd fully wipe, and that would be probably the end of the pull. So, or the end of the dungeon. So I think we still save time, but it could have been a little bit cleaner. We tried. Yeah, pugging is tough. So we just pulled this boss, and I think that was, yeah, my Demon Hunter died, so that was his last resort. And I hate seeing last resort as a debuff on Demon Hunter because I think like it's just a nice safety blanket for Demon Hunters. Anyway, for this fight, there's quite a few things. Well, there's a few things you need to worry about. First of all, the totem. I need to prio damage a little bit more on the totem there. Or the banner, I think it's called, and then I crackle after it. Don't cast after the circle because you're gonna get interrupted. And then don't stand in front of the boss here, otherwise it's just like a little frontal there, as you can see. It's like, you can't really see it, but it's like those 2 white lines. And then he chooses Blood and Glory. He chooses 2 people and throws them down in the arena. They just kill each other. Once somebody comes back with a damage buff, and somebody comes back with a damage debuff, I think whoever kills the other person gets like a damage buff, and whoever dies gets like a damage debuff. I don't know. I've actually never been down there. And then I just try to do damage on the banner as much as I can. I'm just trying to help, really. I'm just trying to be helpful for my team. So the oppressive banner, I normally save my crackle for it. Big AoE damage goes out here, and then you go for a big Shaylun's Gift. Shaylun's Gift's really good on this fight. Don't cast during the circle because then you're going to get interrupted, and then don't stand in the front, the green frontal. A few mechanics. It's just a small area, so I feel like it's really easy to make mistakes. I definitely feel claustrophobic when I'm on this boss fight, but just from your point of view, what you're trying to do is you're trying to help your team kill this banner as fast as possible. You can see I'm crackling here to try to just help kill it, and then just focus on boss damage, and then 2 DPS are going to come down and hopefully do damage. This is the most damage I can go out, and that's just this big AoE damage. And normally you could just use Shaylun's Gift and you'll be fine. There's really nothing too crazy about this boss fight. This one isn't one of the more difficult ones. The only time you really wipe on this is if you don't kill the banner, or if someone, I don't know, someone gets hit by frontal, I guess, could be a reason that you wipe on it. But touch depth is also really good on this fight as well, because you can Todd the banner, which is really, really nice. But I think I used it on the first banner, and then normally you don't get a second chance at Todding, but you could. AoE damage goes out here. My shaman has wall. I don't really use life cocoon too much, I feel like, in Mythic Plus. I think it's like it's a good cooldown in the moment, but I use my trinket here because the boss is getting a little low, and then I'm just going to keep doing damage. I do have 1 Crackling Jade Lightning. I'm probably saving it for a banner. At least I hope I am. I definitely don't need the healing right now. There's the banner. Maybe we swap to it, please. All right, there we go. I was a little slow there, but we did get the kill on the banner. And then it's just the same for the rest of the fight. All right, on to the next swing. The tank says this is a big pull, and I unfortunately don't have any cooldowns. I have Chi-Ji, and I have some Shayloon's gifts, but I don't have too many cooldowns. The most important thing about this pull was kicking this decaying filth. Yeah, that hurts a lot. And there's a few mobs that cast it, so he's trying to round them all up. I sweep, and I just try to do as much as I can. I crackle here for some damage, and then I do have Chi-Ji. I don't know if I actually pressed. I rot there too, and we also have Blinding Sleep from the DK, so we actually have a lot of AoE stuff that we can use. And I crackle here. I get a Dispel on the tank. And then there's Chi-Ji. Chi-Cocoon on everybody, and I'm just trying to do damage. We get a kick there from the DK. I think I actually used my kick there as well. And right now, the only person that has a kick is the Paladin. So thankfully, not too many casts go out. I think I just crackle here, just focus on staying alive and doing damage. That's pretty much it. But we had a lot of AoE stuff. I actually stand in the green circle here like a little dummy, and yeah, that was just my bad. When I died, they bring back there's a green circle, and I just stood in it just to spell the debuff. It's a lot of damage. On like a 13, I would have died instantly that. So I'm glad it wasn't a 13, and we pulled everything, so we could just walk through this hallway, and then you just kind of hope that you have the timing right on these mobs where you can just walk right past them without having to wait, which we do. So this big guy just walks around. Normally the groups that I have been in just don't pull it, so we just wait for him to walk, and then we walk right by him. Kind of a bad guard if you ask me, but this one, I've had tanks pull big on this pack, and I've had other tanks not, so I'm kind of preparing myself to for a big pull. So I use my unused trinket, but he didn't pull, which is fine. I'm fine with that. This pull, nothing too crazy going on here. You're just trying to kick and try to interrupt whatever you can, sweep if you have it, and there's nothing too crazy that goes on during this pull. I'm just trying to do damage as much as I can. Kick the decaying filth. I kick it right there, and then crackle just for damage. Really, this pull's pretty easy, but I've had tanks pull the big boy right in the center there that also spawns smaller ads. So this pull completely fine. I still have my Chi-Ji. I still have a crackle. I tawed one. We killed the other. This is fine. We actually probably could have pulled the bigger one, but I'm glad we kept it safe because the run is going pretty smooth so far. So little ads spawn when you go across the bridge, and then you pull the big boy, and then I kicked that right there, and then we pulled the other mob. So it's a good thing I saved my cooldowns. This right here is probably one of the bigger pulls, and I just try to heal through it. There's just not much going on. Avoid the green circles. You want to interrupt the disgusting filth, and then just try to leg sweep if you have it, and then use cocoon for the tank. And then for the big mob, what you're trying to do is he's gonna have the green going in front of him and behind him. Just run on the side of him. Nothing too crazy. Just try not to get hit by the green circles. So kind of a slightly scary pull, but once you kind of just interrupt the ads, if you have enough AoE stuns, the Blinding Sleep from the DK is really good, and then just don't get hit by this frontal, and you're gonna be fine. You'll be fine. Right, there's just quite a bit of healing from the little mobs, but if you just have teammates that use defensive, it's really nice. And then this is the boss fight. So who is this? This is Gorchop. He's interesting. He's not too hard actually. So I've done this dungeon a few times, and one thing I realized is during the meat hook. Is it the meat hook? No, the meat hook you want to avoid. So there's gaps in the meat hooks. This right here, the tenderizing smash. If you stand in the circle before you cast it, like if you're close to him before he casts it, you actually don't get gripped in. So what I try to do on this fight, and what I recommend maybe, is to stay like really close to him, and that way you don't get gripped from far away, and then you could just like kind of stand on top of him. So nothing really too hard about this boss, I don't think. There's mobs that spawn. Your tank is going to aggro them. There's gonna be gaps in the hooks that you're just gonna avoid, and from there you're just kind of healing through it. It's really nice because you can do a lot of damage AoEing and cleaving the mobs, which I like. So you can hit the tank, and then your blackout kicks are going to hit the mobs. Don't stand in the circle, and then just stand between the gaps and the chains, and you're gonna be fine. I haven't had many issues with tanks like struggling with like aggro or anything like that on the mobs that spawn. They seem, the tanks seem to know what they're doing, and the mobs don't have too much health. They don't hit too hard either. I think the most common way you're probably gonna wipe on this boss is if you get pulled while the hooks are going like near you, like now, like maybe there's a chance, and you don't have like mobility, but you don't even need mobility. You just need to just walk out of the circle. So it's just rinse and repeat on this boss. Kill the ads, avoid the hooks, just stand in the gaps, and if you get pulled, just run out of the circle. I also want to note that the mobs are CCable, so you could leg sweep the ads if they're starting to get a little bit overwhelming. Just leg sweep them. You can even cap them if you wanted to, but again, they don't really hit too hard, and then you can just kill the boss. So now we're on to the last wing, and this wing, nothing too crazy about this one either. The trash is pretty straightforward, and the boss isn't terrible either. So what we do here is you just run through this hallway and pull every single one of these little ads. I don't think there's anything that you can wipe to from them. Maybe there is. Try to kick the bind soul, I guess, and then we pull the big guy too. So this is a pretty big pull. The most important thing about the big guy here is the soul storm, and it's going to be just AoE damage. For the mobs, you can sweep them, so I just sweep them. Soul storm, I use Chi-Ji and then save a crackle. Great AMZ for my DK, but normally a crackle, especially with Chi-Ji, is going to be good enough. You can even use Shalem's gift if you want to, but I use crackle here. The little mobs are almost dead, and we probably kill this thing before the next soul storm anyway, so just try to commit whatever cooldowns you have to get through the first one, and then hopefully your DPS is high enough where you can kill it before the second soul storm. We actually barely though. I think we get a tot on it on the first tick, but yeah, just try to focus on killing the big guy. Heal through the soul storm with your AoE damage or with your crackle and your Chi-Ji if you have to. You could even Shalem's gift if you really have to, and people are really dying. Just do that. Just focus on AoE healing. These mobs, you just want to kick the necrotic bolt whenever you can. I don't think there's anything that could actually wipe you for these guys. You could sweep them too. I go for a leg sweep here. Oh, the necrotic bolt volley. Yeah, that's the one. If you have a kick for that, that's fantastic. I just normally try to kick necrotic bolt, and then if we have like a ROP, or hopefully we have another interrupt for the volley, that's ideal. Nice in cap on it, but yeah, there's nothing too hard hitting about these mobs. Just focus on interrupts, sweep if you have it. If you're really desperate, go for a ROP as well, because that's also could be considered an AoE, interrupt, because you can ROP multiple people at the same time. This one, so this is another big guy. I think we have a purge, so we can get the shield on that mob right there, and he already starts at like 50%. So we pull the big guy again. This is the mob with the soul storm. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to interrupt the volley and healing through the soul storm. I do Chi-Ji, I do crackle. I'm barely not in the AMZ. I must be allergic to the AMZ or something, because I don't want to stand in it, but probably should. And then I also have a leg sweep and a ROP, so I don't know if I use either right now. I might, but they also might be on DR. So what I'm hoping for now, okay, there's a ROP, good. That's we get multiple interrupts there, and an interrupt mob here, and we could just kill it. So we actually do get a kill before the second soul storm on this mob as well. Or barely, Todd. Yes, nice. So that's pretty good. We just have a lot of damage and a lot of AoE interrupts, which is fantastic. I think we have a lot of, I think the Demon Hunter has a lot of AoE stuff. The DK definitely does. Shaman having Purge and Wind Shear is really nice. And then I have ROP and Sweep. So this pull is, I would consider like a little bit easier. Nice Purge on that shield, nice Purge on that shield. And then this one just spawns Bone Spikes. Yeah, just avoid the blue circles. That's pretty much it. The mobs, you can try to interrupt if you can. If you can't, I don't think they hit too hard. The spikes hit harder than that. So just avoid those, and then just focus down the mob here. And I think we pull the trash on the right as well. Those have shields that are, my shaman will probably purge as well. Avoid the bone storm. He doesn't move too fast. I mean, I guess he kind of moves a little fast, but not too fast. You could definitely avoid it. And then we pull these mobs here, and we can do damage. And I have sweep if I have to. I do sweep there. Maybe do a little damage here going on. It's nice because the chain pulling is so nice from Mistweaver, I feel like. And then you just avoid the circles. I get stuck here. I thought that was a flat ground, so I actually fort brewed there because I thought I was gonna die. But yeah, I just am blind. I am blind. I did this run without my glasses on, so I am slightly blind. And then I think this is the last portal before the fourth boss. This one, I didn't even know that they did this. They added an indicator for the frontal here, which is crazy. So Death Winds didn't have that purple, like, I don't know what killed this guy. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what banged him, but he got absolutely cooked. I already used my interrupt, so there was nothing I could do. But yeah, they added the purple lines for the Death Winds, which is crazy. And some people get curses on them. Our shaman is doing a great job of dispelling that, so good on him. Curse of Desolation. So the shaman dispels me. I can't dispel curses, so good for him. And I think I have a kick for this. I kicked that, and that's the only thing that can make you wipe on this pull is that Death Wind. So just be careful. The indicator is so cool. I think I get another dispel here from the shaman. Great job. And yeah, no, good. Yeah, that's the only time I've ever died, or I've seen people die on this platform, is them getting shot off the edge. And then the tank says he messed up percentage here, which I think is okay, because we remember that first pack that we skipped at the start. Normally people don't go back and kill it, and you know, they make up the trash somewhere else. I don't know where we can make up trash. I think it was that big mob that we skipped, but that's okay. So we just say we're gonna pull the trash at the start of the next boss, because there's like a 30-second RP, and we'll pull that anyway. For this boss doesn't move, stays in the center of the room, and then there's death spiral. So there's gonna be a bunch of balls that spawn. You just don't want to get hit by the balls, and then there's this right here. You're gonna get a debuff on you. Just spread out essentially and dodge the balls. Necrotic Eruption is a tank mechanic. The tank, I've never had any troubles with it, but it's on the tank. There's an indicator on the ground. It's like purple, so just be careful. And then Draw Soul, just stay away from the boss. They stack up. You want to kill them before they get to the boss, so I sweep them. It actually lines up pretty well. I think Draw Soul has to be a 45-second cooldown, because it lines up with my leg sweep every time. So I just try to sweep them pretty much every single time. Here, my weak warriors were actually in the way, and I got hit by a ball. So that's actually my fault, and I get hit by a ball. Don't get hit by a ball. Don't be like me. Just avoid them. They're moving really slow. Just have some awareness, and you'll be fine. And you just do damage. That's pretty much the boss fight. There's really nothing too crazy about it. The one thing is just be careful with that tank mechanic. I haven't had it seen it too often, but I have seen where tanks just don't see where other players are. But he's doing a great job. He gets it right now, which is great. I get the circle, so I just avoid everybody and I stay away, and then just doing damage whenever I can. I kick the necrotic bolt right there. Draw Soul, bring to the edge, and sweep it, and AoE damage. You could save a Crackle for it too. I don't think they have too much health, so a Crackle actually kind of cranks through it. I think we got hit by balls there. My Pally Bubbles, my Shaman, I don't think has any defensive, so he kind of just takes damage there. But I healed through it with the Crackle. But that is the boss. Just rinse and repeat after that. That boss dies, and that one isn't too terrible. Just trying to be focused on those balls that go around the arena, and you'll be fine. It's just a small room. It can feel a little overwhelming. And then we did miss some trash, so we port up to the final boss, and we pull that first pack that we skipped. Normally people just skip it and then pull the other mob into the boss fight, but I don't know, maybe somewhere along the line we missed some trash. What is it, like 2% trash, I guess, somewhere? I'm not sure where. The most important thing about this trash is just interrupting this caster. That's pretty much it. If we interrupt and kill the caster, we can kill the rest of the trash with the boss. So, because the rest are melee. So not a hard pull. Just do damage and you'll be able to be fine. Just make sure you kick down Holy Fever and everything will be okay. And then I think we kill it and then pull the rest into the boss. I'm pretty sure. We start dragging it a little late, I feel like. We're not going to 2-chest it, which is okay. I do incap that mob. It looked like he was enraged, so I incapped him. The pressure points gets rid of that enrage effect. And yeah, we're going to pull the boss with this trash whenever we can. I don't have, obviously, multiple incaps, so I can't get the other enrage, but that's okay. If I do, what I try to do here is I try to wait for the mobs to get low and then use my unused trinket so I get more crit. And then this boss has quite a bit of AoE damage, so just be ready to use your crackles at the right time and you'll be able to heal through it. Dark Devastation, don't stand in front of the boss. That big black beam, just don't stand in front of it. I think it'll kill you like pretty quickly. Grasping Rift is the big AoE damage that goes out. So there's going to be circles on you. Space out, but then you're going to spawn mobs. So don't be too far away. And we're all melee. So I heal here, and then I cocoon the tank because I don't want him to die. And then we actually get a good grip on it all, and we kill everything. So sweep the ads that spawn. Dog Devastation. Don't stand in front of the boss. And then we just kill the mobs. But again, you don't want to overlap your circles with other people. Otherwise, you're going to die because it is a good amount of damage. Reaping Scythe is a tank thing. I just heal through it. Nothing too crazy. I try to keep an envelop mist on the tank at all times. And then here comes the AoE damage that comes out. You could diffuse magic, 4 per it. This one doesn't spawn circles. I do have a crackle. I actually use Chi-Chi to put Chi Cocoon on everybody. That way the damage isn't too crazy. That's why you don't see many people taking too much damage there. Because the Chi Cocoon takes the absorption. And puts an absorb on everybody with Chi Cocoon. So it's really, really nice. Easy to heal through. Dark Devastation. Don't stand in front of the boss. Manifest Death. I'll spread out with the circles here. I have a crackle going. Some people are taking damage, so I start cracking a little early. And then I do have a Shayloon's Gift. I wonder if I rot my mob in and then I sweep. And I just try to do as much damage as I can. And this, we stay in AMZ. This is just a lot of damage. I try to crackle through it, but I get pulled from the boss. So I get out of the AMZ, get out of the circles. And then this is like the second phase of the fight where we lust. And we just try to kill the boss. So what happens here is a bunch of ads are going to spawn on the side. If they run into you, you pretty much die. So they're going to run. Be careful. Here comes the frontal. Don't get hit by it. And yeah, that's the last part of this phase. Something actually happens here that I'm interested in seeing, where I don't know. I actually don't know what happens. We almost wipe, and I don't know why. I start crackling here. I see that. I try to get close with an ad, right? And then I think I have a Shayloon's Gift here. I Shayloon's Gift and I heal. We kill the ads. I get out of the frontal. One of the big boys comes. I dodge it. I get knocked. And I don't know what happened, actually. I get knocked into the ads that push me, and I get hit by the frontal. And my shaman died, I think, to one of the boar guys that run. So I don't know what happened there. I guess we didn't almost wipe, but I'm happy I saved Life Cocoon for myself. Here I just crackle through the damage because there aren't any ads that spawn. I try to dodge the mobs that run at us, and then we kill the boss. And that is a Theater of Pain on a +12. Very, very clean pull. We obviously could have done a better job with that one skip. I think there was I think we wasted like a minute or two. A minute from the deaths, and then obviously a minute trying to figure out what's going on. So we definitely could have done a little bit of a better job there, and then everything else went pretty much smooth from there. So if you enjoy videos like this, please let me know. I am more than happy to do videos like this. I am enjoying Keystones a lot this season, and that is it for me. Hope everyone has a fantastic rest of the day. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later.